number 3.
Yeah.
Would you support an open, and this is in quotes, open the books, unquote, policy and work towards making town financials available from the town website, not just budget information, but vendors, salaries, pensions, disbursements, revenue, etc.?
I think most of that is going to be available, well, the expenses and the budget are available now with the new budget tool that we just launched that's on the town website. But to answer the question, yes, I would.
I think she's asking if everything's going to be open, the books.
I don't know if it's possible to do all of that stuff, but you know,
Why not?
that open gov thing that I told you about is
Right.
going to include most of that.
Okay, but you said it's not possible maybe to do, well, why not? It's just information.
Well, but the information is in different buckets. Like remember that I told you that Munis system, the accounting system?
Well, anything can be converted, no?
How much do you want to spend? This stuff, Munis was tens of thousands of dollars just to put it in, and it was mostly paid for years ago before I got in. It took 5 years to put in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
If you find that residents are asking, I want to see a list of salaries, how hard is that to get a list? Have an employee type it up?
send them upstairs. They can.
Well, I'm
see,
saying that's a simple one, but you know, vendors, I'm reading off this question again. So if someone in the town, a resident,
Yeah.
wants that information, the question was, can all this information be online? And you're saying you don't think so, right?
No, it's
Or it's more
difficult.
complicated?
It's a
Yeah,
lot more complicated
difficult.
than that. But I'll tell you this. There is one person in town in the last 8 years that's asking for that, and you're holding her questions in your hand. I mean,
Asking for what, financials?
yeah, to have everything online, like the open checkbook, the vendors, I mean, down to the last penny. Anybody can see that right now. They can schedule an appointment. This is available under Freedom of Information. They can schedule.
Well, they
an
have to
appointment.
put in a freedom of information to get that.
They can come
Yeah.
in, they can call up the finance office and say, I want to come in. They can schedule an appointment. They can write out their freedom. I mean, we'll have a department secretary write up the Freedom of Information request, and here, just put your initials there. It's not a formal process. It's no big deal.
But it has to go through that process
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah, it does.
So it can't be put online, then you're saying?
It can be put online, and I don't know how much cost.
But at a high
that is.
cost, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about information that is contained in many different areas that you'd have to build databases, tie them together. You're talking about, I mean, in my
Aren't they all
corporate-
in digital format, though?
No.
They're
no,
not?
No.
What are
not-
they in? Paper,
a lot
on
of it-
paper?
Yeah, a lot of it is still paper and pencil.
Really?
Here's let me give you a preview of one of the things that we're doing next year, which I hope to have. We've been working on this for 3 years. This is how complicated this is. We're moving toward a digitized online permitting system, so that if you need a health department permit, a building permit to build a garage, blah, 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 you can go online, start your permit, submit everything online, pay for it online, and then all that information is digitized. That is all paper and pencil now. We are years behind, but we've literally, I signed this to Tom Galliford and Brad Herring. They've been working on this for 3 years.
Am I gonna
It's
find
com-
typewriters in this building?
There's
Yes?
probably still, but, when you have to set priorities. If we want to spend money wildly, I could hire a company they could start doing that tomorrow, but what's the priority? Citizens can have access to this information now. Would it be great to put it online? Yes, if we can do that at a reasonable cost, but, the places where I get the pressure from citizens is, how come I have to walk from office to office to office with an application, to build a garage? How come I can't look up online and see the plans that, for the lot, where I bought a house? These are the citizen needs that are the most high priority. Someday, when all this other stuff is digitized, and we can just say, okay, now write a program that ties that stuff together and put it online. Sure, that's great. We can do that.
Yeah, but isn't that relative to what the particular resident is, what information they're looking for? Because, yes, the person who wants to buy a property or whatever needs that information,
Yeah.
but other people might want other information simply maybe for an election. They want to know a lot of different figures, so when you categorize, and I'm gonna go back to the recording of the meetings in room A, and only certain meetings will be recorded. It's similar to that, where, you're saying some information can go online, but some can't, for, with this question we're asking, and then the
Okay.
same thing for the recordings.
Okay.
So how,
Information that is currently available in digital format can go online.
right, that goes without saying.
Okay, but what this question goes far, far beyond that.
It's
You're
all
talking-
information,
Yeah,
right.
and that's gonna take a long time. I mean, in my corporate career, I was a unit manager for the global rollout of a massive software program called SAP. Any of the listeners who've been through, work in an industrial setting know what SAP is. It was a $250 million rollout. It took years to put this stuff together, and really on a smaller scale, you're talking about the same level of complexity. You have to take all this information that's in paper and pencil in all these different areas and put it in digital form first, and that's what we're working toward, like with online permitting and the OpenGov thing. But until we have it there, you can't connect it and put it online. So, and let me make another
The
statement.
online permitting, though, that's a service more than information.
It's
So
both.
that's kind of,
It's
yeah.
both.
Well, yeah, but that's a service where I want to get a permit for something, and then I can do it online. Other than, I want information on what vendor did this particular job in Bethel.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
You can get that information by placing a phone call to the finance department. There are no secrets. It is fully available to the public. It is really not correct to say that we're not transparent. We don't have everything up online. I mean, you know what, I gotta tell you something.
Would you work towards getting everything online? I think that's what the
of
question
course.
was.
I have been since the
Yeah,
day I started
okay.
here. I mean, I'm glad you brought that, or glad she brought that up. The day I started here, in December of 2009, I walked into this office. There was an old cathode ray tube computer sitting here. I pushed the button and nothing happened. So I called up the IT guy. The IT guy was an outside contractor. He went down to Best Buy and bought a new computer. So they hooked up the computer, so now the computer works. There was no working email. I'm serious. You know what people in this building did?
Yeah, but what year was that now?
2009.
Oh, okay.
2009. I would get calls there was email, it wouldn't let you send attachments. There was email, it wouldn't let you send if you used Gmail from Google. It filtered it out. Our department heads, like in the planning department and the health department, when people would send an email and they'd attach a form to it, they were giving out their home email addresses to residents because our own email system didn't work, which is against the law. You have to have an archive system, right? That's not all. Our entire finance department was exposed online. There was no firewall and no cybersecurity.
That was earlier in the days, though, before.
That was just 7 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
And we had, all right, I'll take it even further. Our tax collector's office, to do sewer billings on a quarterly basis, I'm going to reveal something that could maybe get down in legal trouble. I hope the statute of limitations is over.
Let me make sure my camera's on.
Yeah, she used to bring in her home copy of QuickBooks, load it on a computer, print the sewer bills, and then take it off her computer because it wasn't licensed. That's how backwards we were. So I have been working, because I have an IT background and I've been through big corporate IT rollouts. I have been working for the last 8 years to bring us into the 21st century. And we're there with regard to the accounting system. That took 5 full years to install. We're there with regard to cybersecurity. And by the way, many towns in Connecticut have lost tens of thousands, even up to $1 million with spoof emails where they were hacked. So we've beefed up security. We have email that works. We have document sharing that works. All of our software is licensed now. It wasn't before. We are leasing computers at far less cost than running down to Best Buy and buying one off the shelf with all that stuff on it that homeowners use, but that we don't need in a company setting like this. So all of these things that lead up to the whole transparency issue are being done now. But we still have a ways to go. And I don't care what another candidate is gonna say, it ain't gonna happen overnight.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. So in 8 years, you have been working on all of these
Yes,
issues of bringing information to the public.
yes.
But you, wait a minute, you just,
I have been working on making our system secure.
Right, all of
and
those things.
functional. And there's a word for it, they call it the e-government initiative, making the systems more automated so that citizens can get information and do things on their own. And that includes information.
right, so we're talking about an open the books policy, and
Okay.
you have done a couple of things. I saw an article you wrote recently about the recording being
Yeah.
now starting, and that started when?
July, I think.
Okay.
We recorded a couple other meetings before that,
Okay.
a budget meeting, but.
Okay, and that took so long because of priorities. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to reiterate what you
Yeah,
said.
yeah, right.
And also, you don't think other meetings will be recorded because of the expense? Is this it?
No, I did not say
No.
that.
Okay, then
because of
tell me what you
expense.
said, because I want to get it clear.
This is the only room that's equipped for it right now.
Right, okay.
And I don't know, as we get somebody knocking on the door.